my favorite sport's basketball. Football is what I did for a living, but basketball is my favorite sport. So once I got out of the NFL, because the NFL can stand for not for long, right? Okay. So once I got out of the NFL, when I was with Green Bay, as Ron Wolf would describe it, I got promoted to fan. But anyhow, I remember playing basketball at our local YMCA. And while I was at our YMCA and I was playing basketball, it was great. I was on fire. So I got home and I told my wife, I said, honey, my wife, almost 25 years. I said, babe, it was much earlier in our marriage. I said, baby, I should have played in the NBA. Because, I mean, guaranteed contracts, they play indoors. People know who you are. I mean, why did I pick football? And she goes, so honey, help me understand how you came to this conclusion. I was like, well, today I was at the Y and it just, man, I'm really good. So my wife looks at me and says, like many of you in this room, okay, I'm married way up, okay, and she has no problem with feedback. So my wife says, honey, who were you playing against? I was like, first of all, trying to figure out the point of that question. But I was playing against Carl, and I was like, yeah, I played against Carl, I was killing him too. And so I tried to walk off. And she was like, oh, no, that's okay. But how tall is Carl? I was like, what's up with the questions, right? She goes, no, just come out tall as Carl. I was like, Carl's about, 5'8", 5'9". And, I'm 6'4", right? She's like, okay, how old is Carl? Now, at the time, I'm 28, 29 years old. And I'm like, Carl's about 45, honey. Carl's about 45, right? And next you know, she just walks off. Doesn't finish the story. Doesn't give me the moral of the story. Come on, I got some fellas in here who can relate. Right? I'm like, seriously, you're going to leave me here like that? I needed a cheerleader right now. That's what I got. Right? Okay. And literally, I sat there, but now I get the moral of the story. I knew it at the time. Many times, we measure our effectiveness based on who we're competing against. Coaches, I need you to hear me. Okay, I need you to hear this. Okay? That is a dangerous thing. Because many times, who you're competing against isn't that good. And so what happens is, instead of unleashing more of our potential our goal, sometimes we make the goal just being a little bit better than what's around us. That was like early in my marriage, when I was really struggling, I would make sure we were on couple dates with my buddy James and my buddy Daryl, because they were worse at being a husband than I was. So on the drive home, I would drive and look over at my wife and go, see, it could have been worse. But, but that is not necessarily the goal or the standard by which we want to unleash. We want to unleash more of the potential that we have to be great. Now, keep something in mind. The numbers you hit, and although I love the wigs you have, I love all the goals that you have, I love all the things, I love it all, and it's exciting, it's motivating. But I want you to understand, whatever the number ends up being, the goal, the result, is a lagging indicator. It is not a leading indicator. It is a lagging indicator. It's an indication of what you've already done, not an indication of what you're currently doing. So it's very important as a coach to realize, look, if we already have momentum, and momentum's a leader's best friend, we better push the gas pedal down. How can I bring even more out of it? How can we get even more done? How can we push the gas pedal down more? And that's what I want to spend some time emphasizing today. Now, all of us have had these experiences. I asked you a question about a coach or somebody who invested in you early on in your time. I heard last night that you have one of the leaders from the Boys and Girls Club here. I was very fortunate to not only be a keynote speaker a couple years ago for their big Boys and Girls Club national event, but I'm a product of Eastside Boys Club in Tacoma, Washington. I had people who saw something in me at the time before I could see it in myself. And now to turn around and see how the law of reciprocity works, how you can turn around and give back. Here's what I want you all to know. You're doing that for every single person who's under your leadership. Two things they want to know. Not only do they want to know what you want from them, they also want to know what you want for them. Man, do you know what it's like to have a coach or somebody ask more out of you who also wants something for you? It actually gives you permission to ask for more. One of my college coaches, never forget, before I get in the next part, one of my college coaches, his name was Mike Dunbar. And Coach Dunbar was about 5'6", and we said he had a Napoleon syndrome because he was tough, he was mean. Also, he put cuss words together that didn't fit. So blah, the blah, 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 what the blah, 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 blah. And he finished with a blah. Like all those were cuss words. And they didn't go together. But that's what he did. And so this one particular day, I remember running my route and actually running a reverse, and I fumbled. And my coach just goes off. I mean, he berates me, and I'm on a knee, and I'm acting like I'm sweating, but tears are actually coming out of my eyes, right? And there was a pause for like 5 minutes, and then he looked over at me and remembered he was still mad, and started up all over again. But in the middle of his ranting, there was something that he said. He said, "You have so much potential, and I'm going to make sure I get out of you all of it, even if it kills you." You know, most people say, even if it kills me, but he said, if it kills me, like he said, you, okay? But follow this next part. That's what he wanted from me, and all I could hear is, "Man, you just want me, you don't care about me, you just want me to play whatever." And then he said, "Because what I see in you is, you should be playing on Sundays. You should be." Now understand, where I went to school, no one had been to the NFL before. Small school. At the time, it was an NAIA school. It's a Division II now, but at the time I played, it was NAIA school. I had no people in front of me. But when he said that, all of a sudden, it hit me. That's what he sees in me? That's what he wants for me? Did he change his coaching style? Could he have went to, some classes to learn some better management techniques? Yes, okay. But after I understood what he wanted for me, it caused me to hear what he said to me to change. Now, I'm not sitting here, somebody's right now going, "Okay, good, I can still be a jerk. I just need to tell them real quick, hey, this is what I want for you," and then be a jerk again. That's not what I'm saying, okay? But what I am saying is motive, clarity matters. Do your people know what you want for them, not just from them? If they can know what they want, what you want for them, you listen different. Have you noticed the people who love you the most can tell you the truth? And many times it's because you know they're for you. Now, everything I'm talking about right now, these are the basics. These are basic fundamentals. These are the things that we should almost take for granted. But here's what I want you to understand. You guys use words like trusted leader. We're talking about being fearless. These are things that many times are hard to measure until moments show up. But this is why I love this metaphor, this example of an acorn to an oak tree. Because I had a mentor of mine who told me once this. He says, "Eric, do you want to be a champion?" I said, "Yes, sir. I want to be a champion at life, not just as a ball player, not just as a businessman, but I want to win at my house. I want to be a champion as a husband, as a father. I want to be a person of integrity." And he says, "Great. Here's what I want you to understand. Champions are celebrated in the light, but they're made in the dark. They're made when no one's looking. They're made when you can look yourself in the mirror when nobody's around and look yourself and know I'm a man of integrity, even if there's no audience. Because if you can win in private, then you're going to be able to win in public." So now I'm emphasizing this stuff to you because where we're going next, I'm going to let you know where the real battle, it truly exists. And many times that battle exists between our ears. How do we become, each one of us, in whatever roles that we play, become even more effective?